environment and its inhabitants become those of the blissful paradise of Sukhavati, with in its center a great celestial palace of precious gems, stunning to behold, inside which is a jeweled lion throne with lotus and moon disk seats. Here and now, may we experience this pure realm filled with clouds of actual offerings, and those created through the power of mantras, awareness, and aspiration. Shame Kangchen Borin Chen Sentre Pede Dencho Dang Mo Sham Zure Moto Gitrupe Chu Tring Gya So Gyang Shin Chu Gyu Jin Namo Rana Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Paramadane Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Maha Bhadre Maha Tejo Bhadre Maha Vidya Bhadre Maha Bodhi Chitta Bhadre Maha Bodhi Mandopasa Kramana Bhaje Sarva Karma Avarana Bishodhana Bhadre Soha Namo Rana Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Bhadra Sara Paramadane Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Maha Bhadre Maha Tejo Bhadre Maha Vidya Bhadre Maha Bodhi Chitta Bhadre Maha Bodhi Mando Pasankraman Jai Sarva Karma Avarana Bishodhana Bhadre Soha Namo Rana Trayaya Namo Bhagavate Bhadra Sara Paramadane Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Maha Bhadre Maha Tejo Bhadre Maha Vidya Bhadre Maha Bodhi Chitta Bhadre Maha Bodhi Mandopasa Kramana Bhaje Sarva Karma Avarana Bishodhana Bhadre So The ground is smooth like the palm of the hand and bedecked with jewels. It is adorned with wish-granting trees, rivers, and lakes. In its center, in the jewel palace, with its four sides and four doors, upon seats of lotus, sun, and moon, is the compassionate protector of beings, the one who sets the beings of these troubled times on the path of liberation, the supreme Shakyamuni, together with the great Staviras. Come now to this place together with your reckonings, we pray. All the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their heirs, the wisdom fire that dries the ocean of destructive emotions, and those who abide by the Buddha's words in the field with the merit of complete liberation, the Shravaka Sangha of the 10 directions, all of you, please come to this place. With these offerings, we invite you to stay here. for sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. The protector of wandering beings, the lion of the Shakyas, Buddha teachings that you hold in your hands, those who open up the treasury of excellent discourses, guardians of the Dharma, great Arhats, please stay here, we pray. As we invite you to spread the holy Dharma for sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. You who were instructed by the Buddha to uphold the victory banner of the teachings, Angaja, Ajita, and Vanavasan, Kalika, Vajriputra, and Sri Bhadra, Kanakavatsa, and sublime Kanaka Bharadwaja, noble Bakula and Rahula, Kushtra Pantaka and Pindola Bharadwaja, Pantaka, Nagasena, Gopaka, and Abedya, all Arhats, great elders. Through this invitation to this precious place of merit for sentient beings, let these offerings lead you to this place. You are Buddhas with perfect renunciation and wisdom, yet you guide beings, you appear, yet to guide beings you appear in Shravaka form. You whose special activity is to protect the Dharma, 16 elders, come now and take your places. You guard the teachings, especially the words of the Sugatas, and having forsaken selfish aims, you remain in the forest of samsara and dedicate yourselves to others. All 16 great elders, through the force of compassion and commitment, come now to this place. As lay practitioners who seek refuge and whose speech is honest, accept us, we pray, as servants of the three jewels, as we invite you to this precious miracle realm for sentient beings. Let these offerings lead you to this place. Now go back to page 3. La Dhyardanyam Rinjingi Treba Jonshin Chuso Genpe Sa Shivu Rinjin Le Du Du Shi Gu Shi Ba Ben Du Tu Je Zu Be Du Ki Du Jana Nam Dro Lam La Gu Tse Dro We Gun Tu Ba Jo Dan Ne Den Chen Po Nam Kodan Che Pa Nir Du Shi Su Ju Gya We A Se Che Tam Che Dan She Ra Me Bar Nyom Mon So Kim Shin Nam Dro So Nan Shin Du Ka Du Pe Chu Chu Nian Tun Gen Dun Shu So Se Yon Jo Jo Pe Ne Se Chen Dre Na Dro We Don Chu Chu Ki She Su So Drove Gompo Shakya Senge Ye Sangye Tempangangi Chaktu Sha Sura Rinchen Romgi Kaje Pe Chokyon Rajan Chenpo Shukso Nam Chu Bel We Le Du Chindre Na Dro We Don Chu Kyo Ki She Tu Be Ka Gu Ten Be Kyao Tsen Zin Yen La Jun Dang Ma Pang Nak Na Ne Du Den Dur Je Mo Bu Zang Bo Dang Serbe Bharadaja Serchenjo Pa Ba Ba Kulada Rajenze Lam Ten Bharadwaja Sonyom Len Lam Ten Lu De Beje Mi Je Pa Rachum Ne Ten Chen Pui Te Da Di Sonam Rin Chen Lin Du Chen Rengi Dorwe Dunju Jogi Shesu Pandan Ye Punso Sangye Gyan Duje Wangi Nendu Suzin Pa Ge Bar Jingi Trin Le Chuk Gyong We Ne Den Chu Der Jun Den La Shu De She Ka Long Sur De Den Pa So Randun dur ne korwe na tsu du shin dun dur tse ne ten chu ju po dam chen tu je wang gi ne de she gen yen kam so den be se den pa kun chu sum gi shab di chi so tse so nam rin chen shin du 坚定也，若为断绝这其是To all the Buddhas, the lions of the human race, in all directions of the universe, through past, present, and future, to every single one of you, I bow in homage. Devotion fills my body, speech, and mind. Through the power of this prayer, aspiring to good action, all the victorious ones appear and vivid here before my mind. And I multiply my body as many times as atoms in the universe, each one bowing in prostration to all the Buddhas, and praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss, and around them all their bodhisattva heirs. And so I imagine them filling completely the entire space of reality, saluting them with an endless ocean of praise, with the sounds of an ocean of different melodies. I sing of the Buddha's noble qualities and praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss. Jine Suda Chu Chu Ji Te Na Du Sun She Ba Mi Yi Sen Ge Gun Da Gi Ma Lu De Da Tam Che La Lu Da Nga Yi Dang We Cha Gi Wu Sampo Chu Pe Mon Lam Tum Da Gi Gya Wa Tam Je Yiki Ngun Sum Du Shingi Du Ne Lura Tu Pa Yi Gyawa Kun La Rab Tu Cha Se Lo Du Ji Den Na Du Nye Sangye Na Sangye Seki Una Shu Pa Da De Ta Chu Gi Malu pa tam che gya wa dha gi kang wa mu de da nga pa mi tse kya tsu na yang ki yen la kya tsu dra kun ji kya wa kun gi yon te ram zu ji de wa shen pa tam che da gi to. And Veronica, here you should translate. So in the next section, we are going to continue. So this first part of the 7-part puja is paying homage. So up until this recitation is part of the usual 12 verses for the 7-part puja. Then next is inserted in here is special paying homage to Buddha Shakyamuni and the 16 great Arhats.
Ya bien, entonces esta primera parte ha sido como la primera parte de esas, de la estructura de las 7 ramas o 7 partes. Y ahora a partir de aquí va a ser rendir homenaje a los 16, perdón, la anterior parte fue el rendir homenaje a las, sorry, Dr. Lee, the last part was the paying homage to the 16 arhats, and now it's about the qualities of the Buddha, right?
It's actually, this whole section is paying homage to the Buddha Shakyamuni and the 16 Arhats.
Ya, entonces esta sección va a ser acerca de rendir homenaje a los 16 arhats y también rendir homenaje y hablar sobre las cualidades de Shakyamuni Buddha. I have the text, Dr. Lee.
Oh, okay, good. And particularly here, then also the refrain, right? Line by line. Lame kutse tempa dang, tempa gepar jinji lop, right? And there, each time you hear that, you know it's saying, grant your blessings so that the life of the teachers may be secure and the teachings may flourish and spread.
Entonces, a partir de aquí también va a decir Lama Kutse Tempadam, Tempa Gyapar Chinchilo, que quiere decir que la vida del maestro pueda florecer y que sea larga.
So we're going to start together. We will chant this basically in Tibetan. Later, the rest of you, if you can read this, we'll be reading this more in English in the other days of this retreat. So we're going to start here on page 8. Chung men da wei mi gom shin ser gi do jen se pe gu sha ji jia ni gyu chung shu san on nyam sha ze zhang zi la me gu ze den pa dan den pa ge bar jin ji lo kang ri chen pai di se la pa pa ne ten yen la jung dra chum ton dang sum ge ko po por nga yam zin cha se la me ku tse ten pa dan ten pa ge par jin ji lo Tambu lingi zang ling na pa pa ne ten du den ni Dra chon tong dan ji ge ko ser gi na ko zin cha tse La me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo Singa la yi ling na ni ne ten dor je mo yi bu Dra chon chen poi tong gi kor dik zung a yap zin cha se la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo chu o ya mu na ling na pak pa ne ten sang po ni Dra chom tong da ni ge kor chu che nyam sha ze cha se la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo ne cho ka che yu na ni pa pa ne ten ser be Dra chun chen po nga ge ko rin chen shak pa zin cha tse
Lame kutse tempada tempa ge parjinji lo nubki balang chunani baradwaza serchen Rachon chen por dun ye kor chani nyam sha ze cha se la me ku tse ten pa da ten pa ge bar jin ji lo changi dra mi nien na ni pa pe ne ten ba ku Drachon Chenpo Gu Ye Kor Chiani Niu Le Zin Cha Se La Me Ku Tse Tempa Da Tempa Ge Par Jin Ji Lo Triyang Gu Yi Ling Na Ni Pa Pe Ne Ten Ra Chen Zing Trachon tong dang chi ge ko rin chen so shu zin cha se la me ku tse ten pa dan ten pa ge par jin ji lo cha go pong po ri bo la pa be ne ten lam ten Dra chom tong dan du ye kor cha ni nyam sha ze cha tse la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo Shargi lu pa ling na ni bharadwaja so nyam le Tra chom tong tra chi gi kor le bam lun se zin cha se la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo la ne sum chu ca sum na pa pe ne ten lam ten Dra chon chen po gu ye kor chu che le bang zin cha se la me ku tse ten pa da ten pa ye bar jin ji lo ri yi kiao po mo yang la pa pe ne ten lu yi Tra chom tong da ni ge kor pum pa kar sil zin cha se la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji vi yi gyao po bi hu lar pa pe ne tem be jin Dra chom tong dan shi ge kor cha ni le ba zin cha se la me ku tse tem pa da tem pa ge par jin ji lo ri kyao po gan chen la pa pe ne te mi che pa Dra chom tong tra chi gi kor chang chu chu ten zin cha se la me ku tse tem pa dan tem pa ge par jin ji lo hang pe gen den dharma tar el pa tu chin le ba Nang tha dungi kala zing aya pumpa zing cha se lame kutse ten pada tempa ge parjin ji Tsompe go go tu top den sangye tempa le sumba Shalo num chan chu shi yi gyao chen shi la cha san Lame ku tse tempa dan tempa gerpa jin ji
Now, after paying homage, now is the making of offerings. Veronica.
Después de rendir homenaje, entonces es hacer las ofrendas. Viene la parte de hacer las ofrendas.
Then after making offerings, it is the confession, then rejoicing, and then requesting the Buddhas to turn the Dharma wheel, requesting the Buddhas to not enter into nirvana, and then dedication.
Y después de eso viene la confesión, el regocijo, el pedir a los Budas que giren la rueda del Dharma y pedir que no entren al nirvana.
To every Buddha I make offerings of the loveliest flowers, of beautiful garlands, of music and perfume ointments, the best of parasols. To every Buddha I make offerings, exquisite garments and the most fragrant scents, powdered incense heaped as high as Mount Meru, arranged in perfect symmetry. Then the vast and unsurpassable offerings, inspired by my devotion to all the Buddhas and moved by the power of my good faith, my faith in good actions, I prostrate and offer to all you victorious ones. Now, page 16, we chant. Me du dhampa drengwa dhampa dhan su nyen nam dhan ju pa du cho da mar me cho da du po dhampa yin kya wa de da la ni cho par gi na za dhampa nam dhan dri cho da Chema Purmare Ranyam Padan Kupa Kepa Pape Chukunji Gyawa De Dalani Chopargi Chopa Gana Lame Gyachewa De Da Gyawa Tamche La Yang Mo Zampo Chola Depe Tom Dagi Gyawa kun la cha se cho bar Namo Ranatrayaya Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Paramadane Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Deyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Mahabhadre Mahadeso Bhadre Mahavijaya Bhadre Mahabodhikita Bhadre Mahabodhi Mando Pasankramana Bhadre Sarva Karma Avarana Vishodhana Bhadre Whatever negative acts I have committed while driven by desire, hatred, and ignorance with my body, my speech, and also with my mind, before you I confess and purify each and every one. With a heart full of delight, I rejoice in all the merits of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particular Buddhas, those in training and the Arhats beyond training, and every living being throughout the entire universe. You who are like beacons of light shining through the worlds, who pass through the stages of enlightenment to attain Buddhahood, freedom from all attachment, I exhort you, all of you protectors, turn the unsurpassable wheel of Dharma. Joining my palms together, I pray to you who intend to pass into Nirvana. Remain for eons as many as the atoms in this world, and bring well being and happiness to all living beings. What little virtue I have gathered through my homage, through offering, confession, and rejoicing, through exhortation and prayer, all of it I dedicate to the enlightenment of all beings. Back to 18, page 18. Ndu cha she dan di mu wang gi ni lu dang a dan de shin yi ki kya dek pa da gi pa ji pa de da tam je da gi so so ra sha dro chu kya wa kun da sang ye se rang kya nam dan lob dan mi lob dan ro wa kun ji so na gang la ya de da kun gi ji se da yi rang ka nam chu chu ji den ro ma na chan ju ren pa sang ge ma cha ne gom po de da gi tam che la Por lo la na me pa kor wa ku nyang yen da tong kang she de da la dro wa kun la pen shin de we chi kya pa shin ge du ni shu pa ya da gi te mo ram ja sor war gi cha sa wa dan chu jing sha pa da Jese yi rang ku zing so wa yi ge wa chung se da gi chi sa pa tam che zo bei zhang che che ngo. Calling upon the Lord of sages and his retinue by name, I invoke your wisdom mind. Tuwang korje zene bodhe tudam kuwar juru. Teyada muni muni maha muni yasoha. Teyada muni muni maha muni yasoha. Teyada muni muni maha muni yasoha. Deyada mune mune maha munaye so. Deyada mune mune maha munaye so. Deyada mune mune maha munaye so. Deyada Mune mune maha munaye soha 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 Deyada mune mune maha munaya so. Deyada mune mune maha munaya so. Deyada mune mune maha.
Dayado Muni Muni Mahamuni is or 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 Dayado the money money marvelous or 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 the money money marvelous the money money marvelous or 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 the money money marvelous there the money money marvelous or there the money money marvelous or the money money marvelous or there 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 the money money the money money marvelous or there 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 the the money money marvelous or there 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 money money marvelous there the money money marvelous or there the money money there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money money marvelous there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money money there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money money marvelous there the money money marvelous or 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 money money marvelous or there the money money marvelous or there the money money marvelous or money money marvelous or money money marvelous there the money money marvelous or 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 there the money money the money money marvelous on there 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 the money money the money money marvelous on there the money money marvelous on there the money money marvelous on there the money money marvelous so assembly of noble Arhats, emanations of the Buddhas, who guard the teachings for the sake of beings, 16 elders, true embodiments of the three jewels, grant your blessings so that the teachings may long endure. Through the power of this source of virtue, may the teachings, source of all benefit and happiness, spread. May all sources of suffering be entirely eradicated, and the ocean of existence swiftly dry up. May we fully perfect oceans of merit. May we purify oceans of wisdom. May we perfect all ocean-like aspirations and surpass all ordinary embodied beings. The one who has perfected the two accumulations and carries out the activity of the Buddhas of the three times, who is inseparable from them in qualities and brings fortunate disciples to maturity, may there be the auspiciousness of the Lama, who is without equal. With the compassion of the victorious Buddhas of the three times and their heirs, they adopt the form of Shravakas for as long as existence continues. To protect the teachings and bring benefit to beings, may there be the auspiciousness of the great elders. Those whose vision is profound and extensive, Dhritarashtra, Virudaka, Virupaksha, and Vaishravana, may there be the auspiciousness of the four great kings. The one true source of benefit and happiness, may the teachings long endure, and may the lives of the great and noble beings who uphold the teachings remain secure like banners of victory. Through the coming of the teacher into this world,
the illuminating sunlight of his teachings, and harmony among the community of disciples who uphold the teachings. May there be auspiciousness of the teachings remaining long into the future. Now go back to page 21 and we will chant this in Tibetan. Sanje drupa dharjom pabe zo drowe dundu tempa kyon seba kunjo sumno de ten chodungi tempa yurin nepar jinjilo dagi gewe tawa diyitu pende june tempa kipeo kyuchi dumyao kunjong malu rabhangne sipe gyaso nirdu kemparsho sonam gyaso yongsu sogyurchi yeshe gyaso nampa dhagyurchi monlam gyaso malu kunzone luchen kunne kerpa pakparsho soni tarchi dusun gyawaye chenle drchin yonten namye ye kaba nyambe duja minsebe nyame lama chogi tashi dusun gyawa gyause tuje ye niento susun sepas jisepar tenkyon shingdo drowe don seba neten chenpar namge tashi gyache Singpa po yukoro sundam page po chemi zangda namtu se gyojen shiyi chashi so chunne ne jombo tenpa yure ne pada tenzin kebu dhamba na kuse gyosen tengyurchi tompa jikden kamsu chompa da tempe ni o shindu sewada tenzin bula genden tumpa ye tempa yurin nepe So with this, we have completed the Buddha Shakyamuni and 16 Arhats Puja. Yeah, go ahead.
Y con esto hemos completado la práctica de Buddha Shakyamuni, la puya de Buddha Shakyamuni y los 16 Arhats.
So in terms of the Saka Dawa home retreat, we are going to each day switch between this puja and the Buddha Shakyamuni sadhana that His Holiness the Drigong Kyabgun compiled and encourage his students to practice.
Y entonces en el lapso de estos días de retiro vamos a combinar cada día esta práctica de esta puya de los 16 Arhats con la sadhana de Shakyamuni que su santidad Drikung Kyabgon Chetsam compuso y nos alienta a que hagamos.
So now we are going to take a very brief break. When we come back, we will look at that sadhana that His Holiness compiled. So once again, we rejoice, all of us, in the 4th anniversary of the stupa in Cusco, and may all of you have, the opportunity to visit and experience the blessings of the stupa there. And then, of course, after that, if you have time, go to Machu Picchu as well.
Bueno, entonces vamos a tomar un pequeño break, una pequeña pausa, y luego vamos a ver la sadhana de Shakyamuni que Santidad compuso. Y celebramos el 4º aniversario de nuestra estupa en Cusco y que podamos todos tener la oportunidad de recibir sus bendiciones y quizás visitarla algún día. Y también después de eso, de repente visitar Machu Picchu.
Okay, we'll take a quick break.
Vamos a tomar un pequeño break.
We have about half an hour. So I want to go over the sadhana of the Buddha Shakyamuni sadhana that His Holiness compiled from various sources. This was completed, this text was completed last year when His Holiness was visiting the United States. So this was based on a request that came from the Drigungkagyu followers in Tibet. They say that during their annual Drigungkagyu prayer festival, prayer gathering, Monlam, that's usually held, I think, in Eastern Tibet, they would like to have a Buddha Shakyamuni sadhana that they can all practice together. And so then, based on that request, His Holiness compiled this particular practice. So if you turn to page 4, this is the beginning of that text. It says, it starts with a quote from the Samadhi Raja Sutra, which says, while walking, sitting, standing, and sleeping, the teacher is always there in front of the individual, who remembers to perform the sage's recitation. He will go beyond and reach the extensive nirvana. So this is a quote from the Samadhi Raja Sutra saying, whether we're walking, sitting, standing, or sleeping, we should always be mindful of the Buddha. The teacher here is talking about the Buddha, then more specifically, Buddha Shakyamuni. And then it says here, whoever remembers the sage's recitation, meaning here it doesn't have to be so literally recitation, but whoever is mindful of Buddha, and then this person will go beyond samsara and reach nirvana. So then at the beginning, His Holiness, so this sadhana is a little bit unusual in that unlike other sadhanas, there are characteristics in here that are very special. So first then His Holiness put the recollection or mindfulness. So this same word is smriti in Sanskrit, is translated here as recollection. Smriti is sati in Pali. So this is Buddha Buddhanusati. So this is being mindful and recollecting the qualities of the Buddha. So then following this is to be mindful and to recollect, same word, of the Dharma. Dharma anusmriti. Here, Buddha anusmriti, Dharma anusmriti. So it's Buddha anusati, Dhamma anusati, and Sangha anusmriti, or recollection and mindful of the qualities of the Sangha. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So we begin first by turning our attention to the qualities of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, because the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is the object of refuge. Even though in Vajrayana we go on to say, and then there is the Guru, there is the Idam, and then there is the Dakinis and Dharmapalas. Do not think that suddenly now there are 6 objects of refuge. Right? Guru, Idam, and Dharmapala and Dakinis. These are the inner aspects, the more intimate aspects, the inner aspects of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Yes, so, but first, I think it's really important that we remember the general foundational meaning of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And so the qualities of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is given here in this text. This text is actually recited daily in Tibetan monasteries during the time of part, which is lunch. At that time, before you eat, you chant this recollection or mindfulness of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. It's a beautiful way of kind of practicing, what the Bible says. Like, man shall not live by bread alone, but also by the word of God in that tradition. So here, food is so essential to our nourishment. But before we eat the most important meal of the day, our thoughts should turn to the qualities of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, so that we are nourished by the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Then at the end, on page 12, it says, the qualities of Buddha are inconceivable. The sublime Dharma is likewise inconceivable. The noble Sangha is inconceivable. One who has confidence or faith in this inconceivable, then the result is also inconceivable. And by this power, by this merit, may I be born in the land of complete purity. The land of complete purity, you could say, refers to a pure land whereby a Buddha exists to teach the pure Dharma to us directly. But it can also serve as a metaphor, basically, for saying, may I become Buddha. So there's a level of Pure Land teachings that is referring to specific places, states of existence that we could be reborn in to receive direct instruction from the Buddhas. But there's also the ultimate meaning of Pure Land, which is achieving the state of Buddha. So it says, in the Zen tradition, for example, there's a saying, when the mind is pure, then the land is pure. When the mind is stained, obscured, then the land becomes obscured, becomes filled with suffering. So elsewhere, Lord Pamadrupa, he says, on some days, Ngamsho, where he was at, he says, this Ngamsho on some days is the Pure Land, on other days is the burning hot hells. So this means, it's our mind that matters. If our mind is purified of these adventitious stains and obscurations, then no matter where we go, there itself is the land of complete purity. And in order to be born in this land of complete purity, we have to be mindful and attracted to the inconceivable qualities of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. We take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha so that we ourselves can become Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, so that our mind is no different from Buddha mind. Our speech, everything that we say becomes Dharma that can benefit others. And that's a long, long way to go, not just like mind is Buddha, free from confusion. For sure, that's a long way to go. And then when we become Buddha, imagine that, when you have become Buddha, everything you say is Dharma instruction. It's not saying that, everything, no, the only thing you'll do is to lecture people. That's not the meaning. The meaning is that there is not a single word that we will utter that is frivolous, that is not true, that is pointless, that is the cause of misunderstanding. So that's how that every word that we say when we are Buddha, becomes Dharma. Then every actions every other actions that we do, lifting a finger, even as simple as lifting a finger, and blinking even becomes the activity of Sangha, becomes concrete support for sentient beings, for them to wake up. So this is truly inconceivable. But if it says here, but if we can have confidence, if we can be attracted to achieve this inconceivable state, then the power and the blessings is inconceivable, and by the power of that, may we be born in the land of complete purity. So really beautiful, this. Then page 13 is the start of the practice, the sadhana. So first off, to notice is, in this sadhana practice, it is not self-arising as the deity. It is the deity arising in the space in front. And that is also why, maybe rather unusual, some of us have not, maybe you did not even notice, but to point out, usually with deity sadhana, where you yourself arise as deity, we usually just start immediately with the emptiness mantra or the purity mantra, which is Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddhoham. But in this sadhana, before that, it starts with Om Bajra Amrita Kundali Hana Hana Hong Pe. This Banja Amrita Kundali mantra is the cleansing mantra. So why this mantra is here is because the sadhana is for the deity, Buddha Shakyamuni, to appear in the space in front of us, or to appear above, in the space above our heads. So wherever that in front is, wherever that space is, and in some cases it will be the shrine. Right? The shrine becomes like the physical container for the arising of the actual Buddha Shakyamuni. So then the shrine or the space in front of you or the space above you needs to be purified by this mantra. So you pick up the bumpa, if you have one, Om Benza Amrita Kundali Hana Hana Hong Pe. You purify the space, the statue, the tanka, wherever it is that you are going to rely on to allow Buddha Shakyamuni to be present, to manifest. There, before that manifestation happens, you cleanse with the mantra, Om Benza Amrita Kundali Hana Hana Hong Pe. Then Om Swabhava Shuddha, emptiness. So then it says, then from there, it's fairly standard. From the state of emptiness arises a wheel of protection, a secured environment. In the center on a lion throne, held by powerful men and lions. Upon that, a seat, lotus, moon, sun. Then the seed syllable of Buddha Shakyamuni is the syllable mum, mum, which is the same seed syllable of Manjushri as well, also mum. So golden in color. And then this transforms into Shakya Raja, the king of the Shakyas, which is Buddha Shakyamuni. So he has the 32 major and 80 minor marks. Together, these are the 112 characteristics, physical characteristics of a Buddha. It is said that all Buddhas have these 112 physical features. Major and minor means obvious and subtle, not like more or less important, but major and minor marks, obvious and subtle physical characteristics. These physical characteristics is said to be the outer indicator, the outer symbol of inner qualities. So in that sense, you could say, like these 112 marks as physical characteristics is particular to kind of ancient Indian expectations of what a impressive looking man should be, right? These are kind of culturally bound ideas, right? That a strong man, should have shoulders like a lion, A trustworthy man should have a tongue that is broad and long. A kind of reliable man, right, should have feet that are flat. So these are culturally bound symbols and expectations. So I believe, we're not saying that every Buddha that appears will, look like this. Because what's more important is to understand that these physical marks are manifestations, the result of inner qualities that have been perfected. So the Diamond Sutra says, those who seek the Buddha, those who seek to encounter the Buddha by looking for physical, by looking physically, they will not see me, he says. But those who see the Dharma truly sees me. So here we need to understand this, okay? So anyway, it goes on to say, right hand in the earth touching gesture. So the Buddha simply touched the earth, lightly touched the earth, and he has subdued all confusion, all opposition, all discordant factors, simply by just lightly touching the earth. There's one beautiful praise of the Buddha written by one of the Indian masters, ancient Indian masters. He said, compared to all the other worldly gods that need to hold this weapon or that weapon, you are truly amazing. You are truly fearless. You don't even need to hold. You don't need to even lift your hand. And yet, you are completely free from any harm. So this praise said, compared to all the other worldly gods, the gods that Indians knew, holding all sorts of sharp weapons, powerful weapons, it says, you Buddha, Then this praise, I remember it saying, I must be, the poet talking about himself, saying, I must be really stupid, Why would I take refuge in someone who looks, like he can barely do anything? Whereas there's all these great gods holding all kinds of big weapons on chariots and this and that, fire coming out, light coming out. Then on the other hand, there's this human sitting on the foot of a tree, looking peaceful, and I say, I take refuge in you. This is a beautiful praise, with a sense of irony there. Probably this praise was written when the Vajrayana teachings are not so prevalent. There's no wrathful deities left and right and up and down. So it's kind of ironic, here. But it's good to remember this, Don't get carried away by wrathful deities and yidams and this and that and think that they are something else, In fact, this praise say, in the midst of so many other gods, so many other powerful beings that I can rely on, I have decided not to rely on them, but to turn to you. You who look like, nothing much is going on. Buddha Shakyamuni. Yeah. So think of that, Sometimes I think us practicing in the Tibetan tradition, in the Vajrayana tradition, get carried away with this and that and 3 arms and 6 legs and, fire and this and that, But Buddha Shakyamuni should be our common reference point. Such an amazing example for us. So his right hand is in the earth-touching gesture, left in the gesture of meditative equipoise, meditating. He sits with 2 legs in the Vajra posture, wearing the 3 Dharma robes. So then he's described as magnificent as 100,000 suns. In the pores of his body, there are 2,000 Buddhas of the fortunate human. It's like filled with Buddhas. So he is, in other words, the embodiment of all Buddhas, Buddha Shakyamuni. Like every pore on his skin, there is a Buddha. Then from page 15 onwards is the 12 stanzas for the 7-part puja that we did earlier. So the 7-part puja in 12 verses. So we recite that up to page 19. Page 20 is the visualization during the recitation of Buddha Shakyamuni's mantra. So it's described, in front of you is Buddha Shakyamuni. Then it says, in his heart is a mum syllable, golden color, surrounded by the mantra. And so this mantra, when the light comes out of this mantra, the light is going to come out clockwise, as it says here. But what that really means, despite however it's translated here, if you want the details, what it really means, if the light is going to come out and turn clockwise around the mum syllable, then the syllables of that mantra will necessarily have to be facing inwards and arranged counterclockwise so that it can turn. The light, when it comes out, can turn clockwise. So this light rays radiate out, making offerings to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They return and they illuminate, they brighten all beings of the 6 realms, freeing them from suffering and karmic obscurations. Then the light comes back into that mantra. Then this light goes out again, and now it comes to us, purifying our 2 obscurations. And then we recite this mantra. I'm going to pause here to see if you have any quick questions or clarification that you need for this, up to this point. Switch. No questions? Clear?
Guru,
Yes.
just want to check, like in the, for example, in the Theravada tradition, we're encouraged to memorize the Buddha Nusati, Dharma Nusati, Sangha Nusati.
Yes.
So in the same way, is it okay if we just memorize this Tibetan Buddha Nusati without going through the whole sadhana and then use it like normal chanting?
I don't understand what you mean. What do you want?
Okay, no. How should I put this? Okay, in the Theravada tradition,
Yes.
there's a technique called the Recollection of the Buddha.
Yeah.
So where we just chant Itipiso, that's it.
That's it. You sure?
Yeah, just repeat the Itipiso.
You sure? That's it.
Well, we chant the full, and then after that, just repeat the Itipiso part.
And then that's it. You are sure? That is called recollecting Buddha.
And then meditate and contemplate.
Ah. So same, You want a shortcut? No.
No, I don't mean a shortcut. I mean that if we use these verses, this Tibetan verse, in the same way as it's done in that tradition, is it all right? That means...
As opposed to?
So it's okay, right?
What do you mean it's okay? That's the part I don't understand. Like here, same, you chant,
Yeah, but this is supposed to be part of the full sadhana.
Yes.
So I'm just doing the recollection, but not following up with the rest of the sadhana.
You can do whatever you want, I'm talking about the home retreat,
Okay.
I'm talking about this 14 days of commitment. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, There's no Dharma police arresting you, so. Yeah, as I said, so to clarify, in the daily monastic schedule, before they eat their meal of the main meal of the day, they recite the recollection of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That's a separate text, which is put at the beginning of this practice. But right now, we're talking about this practice. Yeah.
Guru, there's a question in the chat room.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What liquid do you use in the Bumba? Is it water or tea?
Oh, water. Never put tea in Bumba. It's always just water. If you want, you can add some saffron. But if you add saffron, make sure the saffron filament doesn't go into your Bumba because it will block the spout. Not for some magical reasons, don't, But for practical reasons, don't. Make sure your saffron filaments don't go into your Bumba. Then if you want, you can also add some essential oil of camphor in the Bumba. So you use that water.
Guru?
Yes?
Again, who looks the syllable moon syllable? Who looks? Again, what is the form?
Oh, the syllable, what does it look like?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, it's in the text. Let me see if I can point out to you. If you go to the text on page 20, in any case, this mum is in Tibetan. So if you go to page 20, okay, on the very top of 20, the long line of Tibetan, you see that?
Yes, I see.
Okay, you keep going from left to right, move from left to right, go until you find a syllable with a round on top. One round dot, one circle on top. You see that?
Okay, yes,
that is mum.
Perfect.
Yes,
right.
That is mum.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. So let's pause a little bit. Veronica, if you can briefly summarize, otherwise, at least briefly summarize what has been said so far.
Ya, bueno, esta sadhana fue hecha el año pasado por su santidad cuando estaba en Estados Unidos y fue a pedido de los tibetanos, un festival que ellos tienen y que realizan esta sadhana. Entonces, al principio dice que si estamos parados, si estamos caminando, debemos estar conscientes de Buda. Quien esté consciente de Buda tiene estas características muy especiales y muy inusuales. Entonces, toda la sadhana significa estar consciente y recolectar las palabras de Buda. Buda, Dharma y Sangha son los objetos de refugio. Los gurus, yakinis y protectores son objetos de refugio interno. Las cualidades de Buda están aquí en este texto que vamos a recitar. En Tíbet, antes de almorzar, es muy especial recitar este texto y dice que si uno lo hace tiene inconcebibles méritos porque tu confianza también es inconcebible y así el Dharma puro que es inconcebible vamos a obtenerlo. El último significado es obtener la última esencia y cuando la mente está oscurecida todo se vuelve oscuro, pero cuando la mente es como una tierra pura todo también es como una tierra pura. Entonces, en esta sadhana vamos a empezar con el Anrita Kundali Hanahana Humpet, que quiere decir la bendición de todo el espacio, porque ahí es donde vamos a manifestar sobre un trono de león, sobre un loto y luna a Buda Shakyamuni, ¿no? Nosotros no nos transformamos, sino Buda Shakyamuni aparece allí. Tiene la sílaba Mum, que es de color dorado en el centro de su corazón, y radia luces al sentido de reloj, ¿no? Bueno, ha dado una descripción más detallada, pero después lo podemos nosotros mismos decirnos, ¿no? Comunicarnos. Entonces, son las cualidades internas que se van a manifestar. Y bueno, luego ya es toda la sadhana que vamos a repetir después. Después lo podemos ver en español, en el grupo. Very brief.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Then on page 21, this is a praise to Buddha. This is like a very good summary of the life of the Buddha, all the major events in his life. So on page 21, 22. So please, read over this. 23. Important one is on like 23. It says, "Thus is the Bhagavan, the Lord of the Dharma." Then it says, "By the virtue of this brief praise of your deeds, may the actions of all beings also be like yours." So this is fundamentally the difference, I think, between Buddhist devotion and devotion in other spiritual traditions. Our devotion is always then used as a way to come back to, may I become like you, may I become like you, may I become like you. May I achieve the same qualities, may I achieve the same qualities, may I achieve the same qualities. This is really important point. So it's important. So Veronica summarized this.
Yes, sorry, I was
Veronica, are you still there?
My microphone was.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Entonces, en la página 21 hay una oración que es el resumen de la vida del Buda, pero lo que es importante es la página 23, donde dice que todas las acciones que ha realizado Bhagavan Buda, digamos que yo.
And it goes on to say, Tathagata, may I and all beings become just like you, with a body like yours, with a retinue like yours, with a lifespan like yours, with a Buddha feel like yours, with an excellent name like yours.
Y va y sigue y continúa que dice que yo y todos los seres me vuelvan como tú, que tenga el cuerpo como tú, que tenga el habla como tú, que tenga el séquito como tú, que tenga las acciones como tú. Eso es bien importante.
Otherwise, we just like pray, and expect someone else to solve our problems.
De otra forma, si no, simplemente nosotros oramos y pensamos que otras personas resuelvan nuestros problemas.
Buddhas can help, actually, yes. So I'm not saying we do these prayers not like as doing some kind of like completely like what we call placebo effect, like tricking yourself to become better. No. It's not that.
Y nosotros hacemos estas oraciones. De hecho, el Buda puede ayudarnos, ¿no? Pero hay que tener conciencia de que no hacemos estas oraciones como un efecto placebo, tampoco.
When we pray to Buddha Shakyamuni, when we invoke Buddha Shakyamuni's wisdom mind, instantly, like kind of like come in our direction, so to say. But we cannot say, like he comes like, some kind of spirit. I don't mean it that way. But Buddha's wisdom mind, it says that Buddha Shakyamuni's wisdom mind, or any Buddha, any sentient being, when they achieved the state of Buddha, it is said that their wisdom mind pervades all things. They become all-pervading, so that all sentient beings have to do is to remember even their name. As simple as remembering just the name of a particular Buddha, instantly, the blessings of that wisdom mind turns up. It turns up because it's always been there. Like all phenomena is pervaded by the Buddha's wisdom mind. So that's why we still pray, even if we say, in the end, we have to solve our own problems, but we still pray because these Buddha's wisdom mind are available for us to lean on, to rely on, in order for us to become Buddhas.
Entonces, estamos hablando de la mente de sabiduría de Buda y de todos los Budas que están allí, que pervaden, permean todo. Y nosotros, en cualquier momento que hacemos una oración o confiamos en esa mente de sabiduría, entonces inmediatamente nos conectamos con esa mente. Pues esa pervade todo. Entonces, lo que tenemos que hacer, incluso dicen que si tenemos solamente que recordar su nombre, ya estaríamos conectándonos con esa mente de sabiduría que está en todos lugares. Entonces, nosotros obviamente tenemos que resolver nuestros propios problemas, pero también nosotros podemos confiar en que las oraciones van a conectarnos con esa mente de sabiduría hasta que nos volvamos nosotros mismos Budas.
So now coming back to the sadhana, then after we say these prayers, then there's the conclusion. And in this concluding stage, the dissolution stage, then fairly typical, the Buddha in front melts into light. That light, as Buddha's wisdom mind, enters into us from the center of our, on this spot. And then we think, our own mind and Buddha's wisdom mind into mind become one. And then at that point, and this is again something special about this sadhana, then His Holiness say, here he wants us to practice according to the instructions given in the Anapanasati Sutta, which is the sutra on the mindfulness of breath, and do this breath training in anchoring your awareness, anchoring your mindfulness on the rising and ceasing of breath.
Translate? May I translate, Dr. Lee?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Después de hacer la sadhana, entonces va a venir la conclusión. Y después va a venir la parte de la disolución, en que Buda Shakyamuni se disuelve en luz y entra en nosotros. Entonces, la mente de Buda Shakyamuni, nuestra mente, se vuelven una sola. Y luego, el pedido especial o la instrucción especial de su santidad, Rikun Kyabgum, es que aquí en este momento que nos volvemos uno solo con la mente de Buda Shakyamuni, es que practiquemos de acuerdo a la Anapanasati Sutra, es decir, que anclemos nuestra presencia mental en nuestra respiración. Y ese es el final que vamos a hacer de la sadhana.
Okay, so now what we'll do is we will together say the recitation dedication at the end on page 27 of this text. And together we'll say this in English. Then we'll conclude today, the first day of Saka Dawa. So on page 27, we'll say together in English. I pay homage to all the Buddhas. I pay homage to the Bodhisattva rishis who possess divine eyes, as well as to the hearers. I pay homage to Bodhicitta, which precludes all bad realms and shows the path to the higher realms, thereby guiding one to the state without aging and death. Whatever evil deeds I have done under the domination of my mind, I approach the Buddhas and confess them all. I have accumulated a collection of merit through the three types of actions. Through the seed of omniscience may I attain the inexhaustible awakening. In the pure lands of the 10 directions, whatever offerings are made in which the enlightened Buddhas rejoice, I too rejoice in them. I confess all evil deeds and rejoice in all meritorious deeds. I pay homage to all Buddhas. May I attain the supreme wisdom. I request the Bodhisattvas dwelling on the 10th stage in all orders of the 10 directions to awaken into supreme awakening. Having awakened into supreme awakening and defeated the Maras and their army, may you turn the wheel of Dharma for the welfare of all living beings. Through the sound of the great drum of Dharma, may sentient beings become liberated from their sufferings. For limitless billions of eons, may you continue to give Dharma teachings. May the excellent ones among two-legged desire, bound with the tightrope of existence and trapped by all kinds of fetters. Buddhas do not despise those whose minds make them impure. You have the heart of loving kindness for all sentient beings. May you free them from the ocean of existence. Following in the steps of the completely awakened Buddhas who are present, those of the past and those who are yet to come, may I engage in bodhisattva activities. Having completed the 6 perfections, may I liberate the sentient beings of the 6 realms. Having actualized the 6 super knowledges, may I reach the unsurpassable awakening. May I realize the Dharma of emptiness, wherein there's no arising, no occurring, no nature, no abode, no mental cognition, and no entities. Like Buddha, the great Rishi, may I realize the Dharma, wherein there is no sentient being, no life force, no person, no reviving, and no self. Without resorting to self-fixation and the things fixated upon as mine, may I have no stinginess and give gifts for the welfare of all sentient beings. As things do not exist as things, may my pleasures be spontaneously present. As all things fall apart, may I complete the perfection of generosity. Unerring in the prescribed moral ethics, may I possess utterly pure moral ethics. With morality devoid of conceit, may I complete the perfection of moral ethics. Like the earth, water, fire, and wind, may I not dwell in anger, and with patience free from anger, may I complete the perfection of patience. Through the effort of initiating effort, may I have perpetual joy without laziness, and with powerful body and mind, may I complete the perfection of effort. Through the illusion-like equipoise, the brave progression equipoise, and the Dharma-like equipoise, may I complete the perfection of meditative concentration. Through the 3 doors of complete liberation, the sameness of the 3 times, and the actualization of the threefold knowledge, may I complete the realization of excellent wisdom. With words of praise from all the Buddhas, with brilliant light and blazing magnificence, and through my efforts to do as the Bodhisattvas do, may my aspirations be fulfilled. Through my having engaged in such activities, may my loving kindness become renowned, and may I thus complete the 6 perfections and fully at the culmination of the 10 stages. Changju Semcho Rinpoche Ma Ge Panam Ge Gyurchi Ge Pa Nyam Pa Me Pa Yang Go Ne Gong Du Be War Shu. So tomorrow we will meet at the same time, and tomorrow we will I will teach a little bit from the Lalita Vistara. So please start reading the Lalita Vistara if you can. The Lalita Vistara is, as I said, a beautiful text. So please read that, download that from the 84,000 website. Thank you and have a good day.